The frequent clashes in communities between the border of Benue and Taraba State may soon be a thing of the past, as the governors of both states have jointly set up a boundary adjustment committee to divide all the disputed border communities under the supervision of the National Boundary Commission. Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue and his Taraba State counterpart, Darius Ishaku, have asked the communities to work with the committee to ensure peace returns to the states.
Tiv and Jukun people are found in Benue and Taraba states. Both ethnic groups have an age-long relationship that spanned several years. But in 1999, the relationship went sour following a major crisis. That conflict also marks the beginning of a series of boundary disputes. But the injuries from that crisis and several others are yet to heal. Only 3 months ago, the two ethnic groups resumed their rivalry, sparking another round of conflict in Fidi community, a suburb of Makurdi, the Benue State capital. This has, however, been a major headache for governors of both states. Their visit to Jota-Bukura border is to address the cause of the crisis and proffer solutions.
Fighting does not benefit anybody. I have never seen it. But peace benefits everybody. I will therefore plead with the Jukuns who are in Benue, just as the Torotiv has elaborated, that they should also respect the constituted authority of Benue. They should also live in peace with their neighbors. If they have any problem, they have a father in Governor Ortom.
From Wukari, the governors lead their teams to Kenta community to sensitize the people on the impending boundary adjustment program. They finally arrive at the Uba Youth Center, where the paramount ruler of Jukun and the Tortiv joined the campaign for peace.
Wherever you are, shun activities of the devil and remain in peace with your neighbors. In Taraba State, the two people that are there are indigents of Taraba State. They should obey the constituted authority in Taraba State, obey the rules and regulations in Taraba State, and ensure that there is progress and development in Taraba State.
Governor Samuel Ortom speaks on the need to pursue economic prosperity instead of violence, urging the joint committee to expedite action on the boundary demarcation.
I believe that arising from this initiative and arising from the fact that we trust and believe that the God that brought us together will also help our two deputy governors with their committees to ensure a demarcation that will be free and fair, that will ensure equity, justice, and brotherliness, so that our people can live in peace.
The meeting is the third in the series of peace talks, and the people have already started feeling the impact as peace is gradually returning to their communities.
The recent spate of utterances and conducts by some Nigerians have been frowned on by the government, which considers the trend as capable of destabilizing the country. To reduce this, the federal government is setting up a program to instill positive national values in the people. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, at an event in Abuja, warned against acts capable of undermining the nation's unity.
Recent agitations across the country have in no small measure threatened the unity of Nigeria. For some, national allegiance have become secondary to loyalty to states and regions. The threat that this behavior poses to national unity is the reason why the federal government is inaugurating the HERE program, which is designed to instill patriotism in the minds of citizens.
Nigeria ever than before, needs the patriotic spirit and the nationalism of our citizens. For us to get out totally from the precarious situation we find ourselves due to our behaviors in the recent past, all hands must be on deck.
Today, the media, particularly the social media, are washed with various degrees of hate speeches, disinformation, and fake news. All these attitudes and other social biases point to the fact that we need to take patriotism and nationalism to the front burner of our national life now and more than ever before.
Despite the existing challenges and debate about national unity, however, the Vice President, Professor Yemi is optimistic of a more united Nigeria.
Where will Nigeria be in another 10 years? Where will we be? Just 10 years. I ask that question regularly. And maybe because of the job I have to keep asking myself that question. Where's the future? What is the future going to hold? And I must tell you that despite everything I see, and I see a lot, despite some of the discouragement that we get, I'm so certain that this country is set to be, in another 10 years, certainly the preeminent country, the preeminent black nation in the world. And we're surely on the way. And we're surely on the way to become one of the preeminent nations of the world.
Nigeria is a multicultural and multilingual entity that no doubt requires deliberate implementation of government policies to harness the existing diversities for national unity.
To health matters now, pain in the upper abdomen could, amongst other things, be an indication of peptic ulcer infection, a common disease across the world. Professionals insist that the condition could be avoided if people make some lifestyle adjustments. In our Focus on Health segment, our correspondent, Mary Alale Yusuf, explores the causes and the options of care in peptic ulcer.
Some complain of pain, a burning or biting sensation in the abdomen or chest area, a feeling of fullness or belching. Peptic ulcer could be gastric in nature, affecting the stomach, or it could be duodenal, which involves the small intestine.
We've talked about H. pylori infection, which carries the highest risk. Okay. There are other habits or lifestyle that some people may engage in that will make them prone to having also peptic ulcer disease. Smoking is one, alcohol is another one, and then some people use some medications, analgesics, we will call them anti-inflammatory drugs, that may also make them prone.
Many take for granted that they have an ulcer when there is upper abdominal pain, but it's important to get a definitive diagnosis to rule out other conditions.
There's so many key things that can cause upper abdominal pain. And we've seen people with stomach cancer gone undiagnosed because every time the person just assumes that, oh, it's just ulcer.
Treatment may appear simple, but must be adhered to for satisfactory and lasting results.
It requires a combination of certain antibiotics and something to help to reduce the acid. If it's from use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, what we do is to help to heal the lesion. And to heal the lesion, the first step is we have to stop the drug that is the offending agent.
If one has duodenal ulcer, usually the treatment lasts for about 6 weeks. The first week is what we call intensive phase of treatment, where we use a combination of 3 drugs. Gastric ulcer lasts longer. We treat gastric ulcer for about 8 weeks.
If an ulcer is left untreated, complications could set in. Fortunately, though, owing to advances in modern medicine, the situation might still be saved through surgical intervention.
As I talked about eroding the lining of the stomach, it can continue on and on until the entire line of stomach is perforated. When there is perforation, it is not just going for surgery, it is emergency surgery.
Because then they can have infection of the abdominal cavity. It can be very severe. Then over time, the ulcer is close to that outlet where the opening, where the content of the stomach empty into the small intestine, the duodenum. That junction. If it happens around there, with scarring over time, that opening can get distorted or narrowed. And when that happens, we have what we call gastric outlet obstruction. So that obstruction has to be relieved surgically.
As the popular saying goes, prevention is better than cure, and experts say this can be done in most circumstances by maintaining high hygiene standards, making sure food is well cooked and carefully handled, and avoiding consumption of alcohol and cigarettes. It would also be helpful to consult a doctor for the proper diagnosis and drug use. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu is questioning the loyalty of the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Alasan, as a cabinet member of the current administration. He told journalists in Abeokuta, the state capital, that the current administration at the center is capable of delivering in all indices of development to the nation by the year 2019 and beyond.
Honorably, he should have resigned. That is just the area where I disagree with. Even he will not, for me, he will not be contributing to the development of this administration. Clearly, the only thing for me that probably can prevent Mr. President from running is on health ground. Because I still maintain that, and I know many millions of Nigeria do, that but for the administration of President Muhammad Buhari, only God knows where Nigeria will have been. Things were so bad. You know, our memory somehow, respectively, I'm not taking anything away from Nigeria. We quickly forget. Everybody knows where we are coming from. And if we want to be fair to this administration, I mean, it's like jumping in at the deep end, very deep end. Everything collapsed, and somebody somewhere came in, and that's Mr. President, President Muhammad Buhari, and look at what he has done.